Hello and merry meet. It's Rowan. I'm going to take a second. I think I paused when I invite people, but I wanted to invite some people. I lost track of the week. It's been crazy. So, yep, I have moved. I'm in a beautiful new state, enjoying dry weather. I love it. Dry, hot weather. No more humidity. So that's a huge plus. So today is Tuesday Tarot. Today we are talking about the Hierophant card. And I'll give it just a minute for people to join. And I also got to pull my cards. I'll have them ready at some point. So welcome, Wayward. So very exciting to share Tuesday Tarot and the Hierophant card. And I just need, there we go. It is a very, this one is a, how do you even put it? You know, the Hierophant card can be intimidating, I guess, sometimes. The Hierophant card can be intimidating, I guess, sometimes. I don't know if that's even the right word. All right, almost got them already. Because, of course, I'm trying to keep consistent with decks, and I hope I have the correct decks that I've been showing this whole time. I tried to keep them separate. For those that are new, I do have a Patreon, so if you have to leave early and you want to see this whole live, you can always watch it on Patreon, or you can actually also watch it on my YouTube channel. So that's always super, super fun. Or if you just want to take notes for future and then go back for reference, always good. I mean, that is what's kind of nice about being able to watch replays, is being able to see things, learn, and sometimes the second time you learn something that you didn't know the first time. So I personally enjoy it for myself, because there are some content creators that I find that I follow and I learn a lot. And so I was like, gotta share mine. And boy, I'm not finding the Hierophant in this deck. Oh, there he is. Almost at the bottom. So, and we'll see if my friend Bren and Azriel join. I know it's so weird, because I was on hiatus for a week to move, and I was actually planning on going live Sunday. So for those that were like, where is she? I literally lost track of the day. So when I was supposed to go live on Sunday, I thought it was Saturday. So it's always interesting. Hello, Celeste. Welcome. So, so the Hierophant card, this is a very religious card. Because it is really, well, I guess I should say spiritual. So the Hierophant card is a spiritual card because it initially represented the Pope. Somebody that is in leadership that can guide you spiritually and religiously. So that is what the Hierophant card is. Celeste, so this is Tuesday Tarot. So we're doing a 78-week series on all of the tarot cards, and then we're doing readings after. Yep. So, and you just got here just in time. I'm still kind of actually looking for some of my cards for the Hierophant, and I wasn't super organized because of my move. So I literally actually unpacked my tarot cards last night. So, which was really nice. I had one deck with me at all times, but I don't know. I like to have my multiple decks, my oracle and my tarot cards. And I don't even have all of them. I picked my favorites because we're in a very small apartment for a while, so. And I don't need the apartment full of tarot cards. Oh goodness, this Hierophant must be on the very bottom. Yep, third from the bottom. So, the Hierophant is a very spiritual leader. So in some cultures, it can be a priest or a rabbi or a clergyman, a druid, a high priest, a high priestess. So that we have lots of options for who this Hierophant. A druid, a high priest, a high priestess. So that we have lots of options for who this Hierophant actually is and can be. And I just have one more card to pull. So our Hierophant usually is somebody who's guiding us and giving us that special direction that we need. And sometimes we do need to have that special direction that we need. And sometimes we do need to have we need that little guidance. I like getting the Hierophant in readings because it helps me know that potentially I have, someone spiritual helping me out. I know the last time I got it, I actually was signed up for a really a class, and I didn't know it was going to be as amazing as it was. And then this class ended up being extremely amazing, and it just opened my mind to more possibilities. So, so the Hierophant actually helps give a lot of really great direction when we are ready for it. And I know in this particular deck, I don't believe it's called the Hierophant. I think it's the Druid, if I'm remembering correctly. So I'm going to show decks in just a minute, and I will start out with one of the first decks. It is a reproduction of the first deck that was out, and I think those are so great to be able to have and to be able to see. Some of the first deck that was out, and I think those are so great to be able to have and to be able to see. Some of the first tarot decks are actually in museums, and like the Buna Soul, that deck is in a museum, and it was almost a complete deck. There were just a few cards missing, which is really amazing considering how old this deck is. And the old decks, they were actually all hand done. So all the artwork was done by hand. Usually, royalty, people with money were the ones that had the decks because, they were artists. Royalty, people with money were the ones that had the decks because, they were artists. You got them from an artist. And they would literally handwrite all 78 decks, or hand draw all 78 decks. Okay, almost. Oh, yep, there we go. Okay, got it. Of course, last card in the deck. All right, I want to thank everybody. We have a lot of likes right now. Thank you so much. I'd love if you could just hit that little heart button a little bit more so everybody knows I'm back. So, because that's also helpful. That's the hard part about going on vacation, because then you sometimes drop a league and everything, and people don't know you're back. I was also very late posting that I was going live tonight. So, all right. So are we ready? So the first deck that I was just kind of telling you about is the Visconti deck. I do teach, August 12th, I do start my tarot certification course, and it's taught 17 classes over 17 weeks, and I do talk about all of the first decks because the history behind them is really amazing. All right, so here we go. Here's our first Hierophant card. This is from the Visconti deck, and you can see this is very Pope-like, and it did have gold foil, the old one did, and it does have like the gold foil on it. I do love the backs of these cards too. Is this one... I'm just checking. Okay, yeah, so they reproduced these from some now. Some do talk about the fact that there is the distinct possibility that the Egyptians came up with tarot first. The hard part is finding artifacts that recover after many, many years. So that's the Visconti deck. All right, we'll go to my Nightfall Tarot, and I will hold up the box. So here, now, I need to switch this. There we go. Okay, so the Nightfall Tarot. And here's our Hierophant in the Nightfall Tarot. This one so reminds me of Disney's Maleficent. But I do really like this. You see the authority in the card, and it doesn't quite look like a priest. It looks more like royalty, right? So I'll just kind of hold that up. So I do like this one. Very rare. You need it? Yeah, I love this deck. This deck is great. I do have some for my shop. However, I'm gonna revamp the shop since we're in a hiatus, I guess you could say. And so I will be posting those as I get those boxes unpacked. But all right. We'll go to, this Hierophant card I really, really like. This Hierophant card is from my Shadowscapes deck. And you'll see, I use this deck a lot. It is one of my favorites. It's kind of weird because it's a very whimsical deck, and I like really dark and very whimsical. So it is very interesting. My interests, how they can be so opposite of each other. All right, so I love this Hierophant. This one reminds me of the strength of trees, how they are rooted and how they can actually guide us. Especially because when we're trying to be grounded, if you give a tree a hug, you're going to all of a sudden feel like that relief and that love, right? So when we look at this, there's so much symbolism here. We see a staff, and the staff actually just curls around, but it almost looks like it's a crystal ball. I think that's like the image that it wants in there. So that really shows authority when we see the staff, whether it is the Pope that has it, whether it doesn't really matter. Whoever has it, then it's that authority. But we also see the grounding. We see the roots and how they are in the earth. So this is a really fun card when we're looking at the Hierophant card in the Shadowscapes deck. All right, we'll go to... So I did bring up, let's see, that a lot of times we have decks that won't go in the order of the Rider-Waite or the Visconti Tarot. So I'm going to show the Rider-Waite deck next, and then I'm going to show one that's just a little bit different because I love different. So here we go. Here's the Rider-Waite, and it is similar to the Visconti. I should have put them side by side. Here we go. Okay. Are they fitting in this screen? There we go. We see that authority there. So, oops, wrong card. So here's our Rider-Waite. Now, most modern decks are based off Rider-Waite, and Rider-Waite is based off of the Marcel's deck, and the Marcel's deck is based off the Visconti deck and a couple other Italian decks. So that is really, really fascinating. Fun fact, write that down if you it's always kind of fun to have that, especially if you are sitting around drinking tea or coffee with your friends. So we've got the Hierophant. We've got, I always feel like these are like friars, like Friar Tuck from Robin Hood. And we have the authority, and that authority being the Pope. So some decks actually, with this deck, it actually does call it the Pape in French. So it is the Pope card. And the Marcel's deck literally says Pope card. It does not say Hierophant on it. So that is our Hierophant card for the Rider-Waite. So our next card, I like this. Which order should I go in? Okay, so I just started showing these 2 weeks ago. Yeah, because I didn't go live last Tuesday. So this is the Tarot of the Sacred Kingdom. I recently got this deck. I absolutely love this deck. Oops, there we go. It's extremely profound. I love the deck. I love the interpretation of the Hierophant in this. So here we go. We'll unveil. We have the Village Wise Woman, or Mother Gaia. And we see she has her staff. Her staff is shining. We've got all these beautiful lights shining in there. And we see she's connected to the earth. Her chair is really almost trees. We see the trees in there. And we see different animals. I'm trying to tell. They look like they might be like rats or muskrats. But we see that connection. And so I feel like this is more of a Mother Gaia card. And when we think about it, like when we think about the goddess, she's a spiritual guide. She's a huge spiritual guide. So why would she not be the Hierophant card? Right? So that is huge. I mean, that's like a huge difference from the Rider-Waite deck. All right, now we're going to get into another one that is a big difference too. All right, so it is number 5. So I know I was wearing this shirt, and I just picked this t-shirt up, and they're like, that's not the Lover's card number. And I'm like, okay, but we don't always have them in order. One of the early Italian decks, they actually added the 4 virtues in the major arcana. So the major arcana was thrown not in the same order. So you didn't have like the Devil card or the Unalive card. They weren't in the same order. So something to kind of keep in mind, this does happen. And then when people are creating the cards, the concept is the same, but the artwork will be different. And sometimes we have a different name. And so with that said, we have, oh, I need to show the deck. Sorry, might help to show the deck. So this is the Druid Craft Tarot deck. And Philip and Stephanie Cargrom, they are amazing druids. If you ever get an opportunity to take a class from them, I highly recommend it. I've been able to take 2, felt very happy. Yeah, so I'm going to read the comment. My Hierophant card doesn't look like a leader or a guide. And a lot of times they don't. That's what's so fascinating, because it is up to the artist and up to the creator of the deck. So a woman studying surrounded by a library. And that would be, because that's like the Hierophant is studious. They are spiritual. A woman studying surrounded by a library. And that would be, because that's like the Hierophant is studious. They are spiritual. So that's how you get that card. That's cool. Really cool. All right. So with this Druid deck, it is the High Priest. And we can see he's very in touch with nature. So I've kind of shown quite a few that with nature. So I've kind of shown quite a few that have been really in touch with nature. And this one, again, it's our 5th card, but it's the High Priest instead of the Hierophant. So they're really concentrating on the Druid aspect of the card, but it's the High Priest instead of the Hierophant. So they're really concentrating on the Druid aspect of food. I mean, the predominant religion. So that's why we see a lot that look like a pope. So that is our Hierophant card. And I know we didn't take as much time because you guys just are stuck with me today. So unless Bren and Azriel join a little bit later. So any questions on cards? Because, I'm fine. Any additionals on the Hierophants or anything else that you're like just dying to, that you're just like, I want to know, I've been wanting to know for a long time. All right. So next week we'll do the spotlight on the lovers cards, and I will tell you there are some really great lover cards out there. Really, really great ones out there. And that will be super fun. So anything I wanted to know, wonderful. I'm glad. I'm glad. So this is like a really high overview of each of the cards when I do this 78. I do teach really in-depthly, and I know Bren also teaches tarot. So when he gets back, you can always do those. And I know, is there anything? I don't know. Like I feel so out of whack from being off for a week. I'm also dead exhausted. So I did rest today though. Today is the day I've felt the best. So it's a lot to move. So when I ask Nyx, she would like from me, I get the Lover's card usually. Isn't that interesting? That is actually very interesting that you get the Lover's card. Yeah. There's always a message there. So I'm excited about the Lovers next week. Lovers will be fun. So, we will have fun with the Lovers cards. So I will do one card readings as long as I have questions being asked. And I have some of my favorite decks that I had packed away. She usually just means she wants me to do self-love stuff. Yep, and we'll jump into the Lovers next week, but the Lovers can mean, it's a fun card because it is very universal. So that's what I do really like about the Lovers card. Super, super fun. So especially as we jump into new decks and new cards. Always a good time. So I do have my Lenormand cards. I actually have like my set that I really, really like. I have my Alice in Wonderland set. I love Alice in Wonderland. And actually, I know we did a spiritual panel a while ago where we were talking about some of the things that Lewis Carroll actually has in Alice in Wonderland. It's very profound because there really is a lot in that book. So I'm going to actually read it again, but look at it from that book. So I'm going to actually read it again, but look at it from a spiritual aspect versus an English literature aspect. Or like when I've read it with my kids, when I've just read it for fun. Sorry, I'm a little dry. You guys, I have like literally a little bit of water left and a Propel because we drank a lot this week on the road, and I'm still recovering from drinking, so I don't like doing that. And I also have my Alice in Wonderland tarot deck. I actually have like about 4 different decks that are Alice in Wonderland, and they're pretty cool. At least I think so. I have some that are very obscure and some are very whimsical. So it is neat to have a combination. All right, so we are open for questions. So if anybody has a question today, in the meantime, I'm going to just pull a card from the Alice in Wonderland deck to see what our next week will be like. Like what message does the divine universe have for all of us out here for the next week? All right, let's see what our message is. Ooh, we got the Queen of Coins in reverse. All right, so we're not feeling very grounded. And you know what? We do have a lot of retrogrades going on right now. And so the message is to ground. Like, literally, this is what our message is that we need to ground. Be frugal with your funds. So don't go too wild spending stuff. You want to be frugal with your funds today. Well, for the next week at least. And then make sure you're grounded. And actually, when we're grounded, we usually can be more frugal with our funds, because then we know, okay, yeah, we need this. No, we don't need this. But that's our collective pull for today. Very, very interesting. So there we go. Queen of Coins. And I do want to thank everybody who's given gifts so far. Thank you so much. Always appreciated, never expected. And thank you to everybody who's given hearts. I really appreciate it when you like those videos. It's a really great way to support and jump on. And yay, Bryn, you're here. I appreciate it when you like those videos. It's a really great way to support and jump on. And yay, Bryn, you're here.
Wyoming.
I love it. Our town is so small. It's like, it's so nice, like, just to be like, to go from like a giant city to just a small town. And we love the weather. Like, we just went to the grocery store maybe 2 hours ago, and my husband said, I love walking outside and not starting to sweat, because like the humidity is so bad out in Illinois. And so, like, you know, it's just so nice.
I'm kind of jealous, to be honest.
Well, we're gonna probably on Saturday. There's our state park, Bear River State Park, is connected to our town, and so we're gonna go see if we can find the white buffalo. So,
Oh, no way!
we're gonna go do our little white buffalo.
Wow.
Yeah, there's a white buffalo. She's had, like, she didn't have a calf this year, but she had a calf last year, and I think they said that was the 4th white buffalo calf that she's had.
Wow.
Yeah, lots of exciting stuff. So.
Let's see here.
Yeah.
I think. The last week. We had like the Turo Tuesday. That was. I'm trying to remember. I can't remember because it feels like it's been really long, but it hasn't. Yeah, Thursday. The topic that I chose was wishes and desire. That was what the spiritual topic what I chose. It wasn't as, it kind of felt a little bit weird because it was just me and Azrael, and
Yeah.
but got it through. But other than that, that's nothing really new has happened as of yet.
Well, and then I was going to go live Sunday. I lost track of the days. So yesterday I'm like, oh, I go live tonight. And my husband's like, on Mondays? I'm like, it's not Monday, it's Sunday. And he's like, where'd you lose a day? I was like, oh my gosh, I lost a day. So we'll do chapter 9 of Spiral Dance this Sunday.
Yeah. And did we, crap. Oh yeah, today was supposed to be the He Who Font, wasn't it?
Yes,
He Who Font.
I went over mine, but if you want to go over your cards, you're totally welcome to, because no one has asked a question yet, so.
Wow. Well, let's see here. I went to really go over there. Well, the He Who Font, or the Hierophant, the Pope. Well, the Hierophant is probably, if not one of the most unique, unexpected cards in the whole of Tarot. Because you're thinking, the Pope. Isn't that blaspheming to have him in the Tarot? Because of being a system that shows divinatory. I can't pronounce that word. Divinatory. Yeah, there we go. It's like tongue twister. And
It
depending
had,
on what deck you're using, can vary with how the card looks. Like this
that
one is
one's
from the Diablo Tarot, and this one you can kind of see that, well, oh, you're, holy father, well, I mean, dang, who hurt you? I'm looking at blaspheming, and I don't care if I gotta flip you off. So this version of the Hierophant is more, um, a bit more passive aggressive in the way that he likes to express his belief system and whatnot. So this version of it can be more defiant. So one is more defiant in their traditional system, or the way that they like to express how they do like a certain routinely thing. It does have a bit of rebellion against it, and it is a little bit unapologetic. And they might also be a little bit harsh on the heart when they go about it. Ugh. Yeah. Harpy Who Fun. Depending on what deck you're using, it shows you the math. I mean, the masses. It shows you the vastness of, like, I wonder what this card can be. Because you can have a depiction of the Hierophant being a pope. You can have him being like a monk. You can have him being like a priest doing an exorcism. I mean, the variations are endless.
yeah. One of the decks I showed, they have as a high priestess or a high priest, and then the other deck, it was more of like a Mother Gaia. My phone is not charging.
Oh yeah, it's in the Witch's Tarot. It actually has the High Priest instead of the Hierophant.
In which one?
The Witch's Tarot. It has the High Priest.
Oh, I didn't pull my witch's tarot, but I do believe, I will grab it real quick. Wow, I cannot get my cell phone to charge. I didn't realize the battery was dead, so I will grab the witch's tarot, though, because I was showing that. Oh, wow, my phone is not charging. That is not good. I'm going to grab a charger, and I'll grab that deck.
Do-do.
Okay, let's see. This one will charge. And I don't have like a table set up yet, so I'm also sitting on a bed. All good though. All right, let's see. There we go. Yay, I got a charger. Okay. And I did grab the Witch's Tarot, so I will look and see. I cannot remember. There we go. The Empress. It's probably going to be the last card. Oh, it is the High Priest. And there are the keys still down there. The keys just always remind me of the goddess Hecate. Even on the Rider-Waite deck.
And what's really fascinating about that depiction of the I, I'm just so used to calling him the He Who Font, because usually whenever he pops up it just makes me think, oh look, he's like trying to be like, you better listen to me. I'm going to send you to hell. Well, okay then.
Yes, I'm in charge.
Yeah, but that's the high priest, at least in the witches' trail. I also noticed that he's all by himself. He doesn't have two students in front of him, or like two
Yes.
pupils in front of him. He's all by himself. So it kind of does show that that it kind of does give that cult leader um mentality and energy because he's all by himself. It's like, listen to me. No, I don't listen to them. They're gonna have you be doing those bad things called rituals or whatever.
And he's dressed more like a druid in this too.
Yep, and that specifically is why whenever for me, whenever the hierophant comes out, it all depends specifically like on which way he's being depicted. If he's
Yeah.
being depicted as an elder, like a more of an elderly man, and he's like saying in the trees with a younger child or a child, and the child is like looking to him as like a mentor or a guide or a teaching figure. That's a more of a for me a dignified version of the Hierophant because the Hierophant is maintaining tradition and still being that guiding figure, but in a way which is more focused on the tradition than just having the power and the authority to like throw his weight around and everybody else around him, including the student and the child, feeling the intimidation to I have to listen otherwise he's gonna hit me with a stick.
Yeah. And it's less intimidating too. Like when we look at, well, like I showed the druid craft. I mean, this is less intimidating when you see these figures versus when we're looking at, I'll grab the Visconti because it's right here. And I know I'm trying to keep it in order. You know, it's more intimidating to be in front of this as authority versus this.
And funny enough, because when I also see the Hierophant too, like say in a traditional, or like even like how it's traditionally depicted in the Redwood Smith, you do have this figure that can be somewhat dogmatic. You can have somebody that can be political, and ironically, it's a it's a Taurus card and it's the Venetian card, which I found really weird because while yes, Venus is a guru teaching figure, Venus isn't one to be politically dogmatic. So I kind of see the Hierophant as a Capricorn card. It's like because it wants to have status, it wants to have the title, it wants to be seen and respected, and it's willing to do any kind of disciplinary action to keep things in line. And is using intimidation in the title to get their message across. But that at least that's how I kind of see it with it being more of a Capricorn card than a Taurus card.
Yeah, it's always an interesting, and it really does depend. Like when it pops up in a reading, it really depends. Am I getting the one that looks like the Pope, or am I getting one that is more freely open and more spiritual? Um, it is a very interesting card because of the dynamics of how it is drawn typically.
But usually the main thing that the Hierophant pops up, and again, it solely depends on how it's depicted. And that's why, at least when you use intuitive reading, it's perhaps one of the most difficult cards to read because it makes you having to think and you have to see how the deck is perceiving it. You can have one deck showing the Hierophant being again a pope figure that's the head of the church, and he's kind of being all head hunchy, like look at me and my crown. Listen, kid, you respect the bling. Have you listened to me? Maybe one day you'll have a crown like this. So listen, or you're going to hell. Or it could be there is one depiction of the Hierophant. I believe it's from the Apocalypse Tarot, it shows a young monk child. Then he grows up to be a teenager, and then he grows up to be an elder. And in front of him are these two figures that are attending to him as a child. So it's showing the tradition and the values being able to be that hierophant or teaching monk at any age. So that hierophant is more concerned about you can have a guru at any age and they can be younger than you, probably even more inexperienced than you in different aspects of life, but they're still able to be this guiding and teaching figure for you at the same time. I think the word is prodigy. I think
Yes.
that'd be the word.
Yeah. Yes. So the Hierophant, it's a fascinating card. I mean, it really is because it does really depend on the on which deck you're reading with. And which cards, it always is really going to depend on which cards. As a matter of fact, if I just do a one card pull for myself and get the Hierophant, I tend to pull a couple more cards because I'm like, yeah, we'll pull a couple more.
And usually, whenever I've like you said, if I ever fall in my crap, well, how the heck is this going to make any sense if I have the He Who Fun come out?
Yeah.
Not say if you have say a pull and then you pull the Hierophant and the Eight of Swords, that can kind of show that you have somebody using their tradition or their religious belief system, and they're using it as a means of suppression. And that's also Jupiter and Gemini plus the Taurus aspect. So you're having somebody's belief system now being also their source of restraint and binding people or binding others.
Yeah, it is a fascinating card. And next week we'll have the Lovers. The Lovers is a great card. We'll probably be going on with the Lovers for quite a while, I think.
Oh yeah, the lovers. Now, a lot of people, whenever the lovers pop up, instantly, like immediately, people think, "Oh, that's a card about love and all that stuff." Well, yeah, it can be, but the core about it is not usually what people think. Because you could have a
Yeah.
lover's card pop out, and it's pertaining to a question that has nothing to do with love and woozy-woos at all. And then people get confused, like, how the heck does this make any sense? All I wanted to know to say,
Hmm.
oh, I'm going to be getting this promotion, I got the lovers instead. Does that mean I'm going to be dating my boss next? No.
Yeah, no, we're going to have fun with the Lovers next week. So, yes, so Bren and I will be doing the Lovers card next week on our 78-week journey through the major and minor arcana. And then Thursday we'll be live with spiritual panel. I haven't even thought that far ahead. If there's a topic burning that you want to use, Bren, go ahead and let me know. We can do that. And if not, I'll pull something out of my hat.
Roll up my sleeve. Oh, great. I got, crap, what's that? What is that? Oh, the cartoon called, Rocky and Bullwinkle. There it is.
Rocky Bullwinkle. Yeah. It's
Hey,
been a long time.
why don't you put a ribbon on my hat? Again? Now here's something we know you really like.
Yep. Weren't you going to pull a topic out of the hat? No, we'll have it. We'll get something figured out. But Bren's rolling up his sleeves.
I know I have one, two, three, four. Do I? Any hoo hoo. Wait. When did I? Hmm. Okay. Well, any hoo hoo. So. Oh. Okay. Let's see. Because I have more. I almost said dopes. I have more popes. So this is the Hierophant from the Ludi Liscaturo. And this depiction of him is kind of it's kind of like the depiction of him about to burn this book, where you have the sun and the moon on it. Because if you notice, the book is right above the fire right there, and it kind of looks like he's going, "You see this? This is evil. We must get rid of it." So you can see somebody's naive, blind, and just unwillingness to change their philosophical perspective puts something at risk. And if you notice, his eyes are not even open. So it kind of gives the vibe of like, forgive, being offered, and they don't know what they're doing.
Mm,
And the
yeah.
look on his face is kind of smug looking too. It's like, this is blasphemy. We must get rid of this. Kind of like what's his name from The Simpsons, Reverend Lovejoy. And his vehicle is actually a book burning mobile, which is just a truck. But this Hierophant also, it's kind of like a mad prophet in a way because he doesn't have anybody around him. So he's taking this sacred book, putting it close to the fire, and just being a bit dogmatic with it. That's one of the Hierophant. Another one is, this is from the Haunted House Tarot. Now this Hierophant, whenever he comes out, I'm like, this one's not nice. It's like, brother, get out of my room. You gotta do some exercise tonight, Missy. But I'm in bed, I'm trying to sleep. You have to exercise. Oh. So this one could be a little bit of an indication of like somebody knowing a figure that's a bit violating. Not so nice. Using
It
their
almost
religion.
reminds me of the Creep Show,
No, yep, I can get it out of my head.
the episode of the Creep Show.
And again, this one doesn't have any people around him. It's just the two hands and just the person.
Yeah.
So it kind of feels like.
So you know someone's there.
And the last deck that I grabbed was the Illuminati Tarot. If I can just find it. Let's see. This one's kind of close to the Red Smith depiction, but this one is more. It has a few more elements like the lamb, and I can just find it. Yeah,
One day we'll have all of our cards pulled before.
yeah, but it's funny because before I even hopped on here, like I had everything all piled up and ready to go. And then I just went fell asleep, and then like right when I came in was pretty close to about when I just woke up and like, oh crap. And another thing that I've also found also kind of intriguing too, the Devil card and then the Hierophant card, in a way, they kind of have the similar thing. It's just reversed.
Ooh, yeah. Actually, now that you say that, they really kind of do. Even just the pointing directions.
hmm And the Hierophant, the way that he's pointing is both hands are up. The Devil, one hand's up, one hand's down.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yes, that's very, very Pope-like.
It's like it is very notice me. Look at my bling. Look at my stick.
Yep.
And look at my fluffy. And the two figures down there, they kind of also show this. I don't know. It kind of gives a vibe of like um which pope was it before Pope Francis? I can't remember his name. because by stereotype, usually you see the Pope figure as somebody that's pretty out there and lavish. Like he
Yeah.
steps out and uh, gives him his attention. It's like how can you not see him because he's so out there? Yep, and it pulls your attention. Like wow. But now when you also look at say, oh, I gotta find this little stereotypical like oh it's the devil it must be bad. No, two things can be true at the same time. The Hierophant,
Hmm.
His Holiness, his well, like what we said, it can be seen as a really intimidating card because it's like you're being indoctrinated with them at the same time and using manipulation to kind of lay the foundation for like the status quo or something, and having to rely on a figure that says this is what it is now, deal with it and accept it as here.
Yeah.
It's kind of almost like the same thing.
It is. It really is. Yeah, so somebody asked, isn't, oops, wait, now I lost the question. Isn't the devil just temptation? Um,
Hmm.
I mean, well, it can be, but it has a lot of meanings. A lot of times it's actually like being tied down, being conformed. So,
I,
the devil's man-made.
I'd even say the devil. Well, because if we're looking at the energy of the devil, what do we know? The devil is solely reliant on the mundane, the material. So if it involves the senses, if it involves restriction, so you can have somebody being restricted in their ability to control themselves when it comes to temptation. Or you have
Yes.
somebody that's able to be the devil figure that's able to keep control of themselves, saying, nope, I'm restricting this side of me from going out. Which that could even be a dignified trait. Being aware of what happens when you indulge in a certain intoxicant, you're able to hold yourself back from even partaking in it. That's the devil because he's restricting you.
Yeah. And that's just it, is the devil was made to control people and our impulses and our choices. So sometimes it's violating our personal freedoms.
And heck, I even like to say, think of the devil like Chris Farley of the Tarot. Live life and live it hard, but you gotta know your limit because you'll kick the bucket like him.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. And it's okay. It's okay to do things, but yes, you do need to know your limits and your personal boundaries for those limits.
Life, because from at least how I see it, life is meant to be enjoyed, but if you're gonna go all in, well, if well at the same time you are going out the way that you love, but just make sure it's really how you want to go out.
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. All right. I think we're ready for readings unless there's anything else you wanted to wrap up with the Hierophant.
Not really more than I can think of because again, the Hierophant is so dependent on which deck's being used
Yeah.
and how it's being depicted, and as well if it's like say if you're standing at a current position with the High Priestess, and then the next card you pull is the Pope. So now you can think, okay, so the High Priestess comes out first and then the Pope as a clarifier. Are we having this dynamic of like saying the High Priestess is having more control of the Pope, or is the Pope opposing the High Priestess in some way? Is the ability
Yeah.
to use one's silence and be observant of somebody being tyrannical with the belief system, or is somebody trying to teach with trying to show that the best way to be a figure that people are able to connect with is it going to be more in tune with somebody being more observant and showing that more power is in being silent? Then is it being compared to, like, say, being the Pope saying, "Ah, look at me, my crown. I'm a guru. Look at me." The high priest just sits there, quiet, content, and just, "I'm here."
And it's that balance between masculine and feminine energy too.
Because it's also, well, because the high priestess being a, lun, a lunar card, and funny enough, in a way, technically, the Hierophant is also a moon card too, being Taurus, because Moon does co-rule Taurus along with Venus from the 15th degree onward. So in a way, it is kind of that's interesting because it is a really feminine card in that regard. Then
Yeah. It's very fascinating. Yes, as we dive deep. So 78 weeks of tarot to learn just really brief high overview. We show cards, we talk a little bit like we are tonight. And so next week is the lovers. So we've got quite, I'm not even going to like go with the math, but yes. So over 78 weeks, we'll be doing that. So next Tuesday, we will be live doing that. So without further ado, though, we will do one card reading. So if you have a question, you can type general or type that question that you just need an answer to. We will pull a card for you. If we need to, we'll pull a clarifier, and we will stay here as long as we're pulling cards and as long as there's questions coming. So, and please don't forget to like the video. We have like 700 likes. So, yep, Brain, would you like a general or do you have a specific question that you'd like?
yes, what is the question? And no, don't be all like, my question is to be or not to be. Okay, yeah, my
That's not the question we want. All right. Right. She wants a general. Okay.
hmm.
Yep, this is the deck I'm supposed to use.
Let's see here. Oh,
All right, Rain, the card I got for you. Wow. What the Seven of Cups. And with this, you've been really reaching for the stars and trying to find your options. You might be feeling held back, like something's holding you back, and you need to like really address what's holding you back. I'm not even holding that up. Yeah. So, lots and lots of choices, and um, and it is hard. So you got to find out what's holding you back. And I'm going to see what Bren's card says, and then if we need to, I think we might need to do a clarification for you on that. So, because I know we do have to wait for the cards to tell us when it's time to pull the card.
and what came out is the turn on the Two of Swords that came out.
Oh
So,
wow.
so this is a Uranus in Libra, and also Moon in Libra. So there being two of the choices you have there. So there's many options, but two strong possibilities that you can choose. See here. Hmm. See here. One option going that way, and then the other option is that again if I tried. You could choose the pathway that is balanced. This one's having more of the moon related, Six of Pentacles being balanced and just. Or you rely on a figure that's a bit dogmatic. And there's the he who fun again. So you have a choice. Do you follow what's fair and just for everybody involved, including yourself? Or do you follow the guidance of somebody being a little bit traditional and pushy?
And then if this helps, I got the choice is something new to you. So it's new. So sometimes when we have choices in front of us, it's like continue with something that we've been doing or like do something completely new. And that's literally what we're getting here is the stork is saying you need to go with the new choice.
Isn't like the myth with the stork when it's breaking a new
whatever's going to be new.
The myth with the stork when it's breaking a new
whatever's going to be new.
It's kind of
like it's completely new and because it's going to bring something great to your life. It's literally like a stork. It just like Bren just said, it brings a new baby, and it brings newness. It's a new beginning. Yes, it can mean flight because the stork has wings. That's like other things we want to look at too when we're looking at choices. Do any of your cards? I don't see any wings in any of your cards. Are there any? Oh, wait. Your Hierophant, is that a duck?
Yep. But what's interesting?
Yep.
But what's really interesting is that if you notice, both of these figures, they're both pointing in a direction. This one's pointing up. This one is also mainly pointing down. And if you notice, one is more down, like is more with the people, and she's standing up. She's actually standing in the same environment as these people. While the Hierophant is above and he's sitting. So it's like he's using his position in a way where it's lazy, while this one is being more proactive and wanting to balance everything out. He's just sitting like, I'm on this fancy chair, look at me. While she's out there in her purity and trying to really cause the change.
Yeah. Yes, hopefully that helps. So it's the take flight newness that will change. You're welcome, Rain. You're welcome. And for those that just joining and those watching, we are doing one card reading. So you can type general or you can type a specific question in the chat, and Bren and I will pull cards for you, and we'll stay live as long as we've got questions coming in. I know sometimes we're very talkative. I'm not very talkative tonight. I'm tired.
I will also. I do have because I do have a question because there's a situation involving my I do have a situation regarding like my biological father having more of an inheritance that I just found out about a few days ago, and I'm just like, crap, how the heck am I going to be able to get that? Because I have to get like I have to get a kick the bucket certificate, and it's just a big fiasco with all that. So I guess I would just say, what can I guess my question would be, how can what is the best course of action to obtain the means of getting that certificate? That's my question.
Oh, 10 of Pentacles. So it's supposed to be yours.
Well, of course. I mean, the amount is, well, okay, we'll be honest here, 40K. out of nowhere, like because he passed away in 2024, and I just got news of it a few days ago.
Okay.
And then what's the next card?
Yeah. So the three of Pentacles reversed. So it's been being held back.
It's oh, I see. So it's like people because the Three of Pentacles is a card of cooperation. It's been the
Correct.
the wealth,
It's not
yeah, the
cooperating.
wealth that's been, and that oh gosh, oh that gave me goosebumps because
That makes sense because and since it was 2024, um, yeah, someone's holding back. Is there an executor or is it the state involved?
well for me, I'm the first of kin,
Okay.
and his sister, well his sisters when their which would be my grandmother Peggy when she passed away, they tricked him into signing the um the amount that was for him away to both of them. So they took it from him, and they ended up wasting it and spending it all on BS. And then when he passed away, they couldn't get any of it because he still had the 40,000 to him. So for all this
It's
time,
coming to you,
I was
followed by the Four of Pentacles.
hmm. Well, that's definitely true. The Four of Pentacles
Yeah.
be like, it's mine, mine, mine. Yeah.
Yep. Yep. Just like a little bit, I know like depending on the state. I mean, is he in the same state with you? Or was he in the same state with you?
Nope, it's California. It was in California,
Okay.
and I've searched before for like any kind of means of me just being able to claim it, but in order for me to do that, I need to get like the actual, like I actually have to order the kick the bucket certificate, but I unfortunately
Yeah.
don't have it's to afford it. Crap. Ah, because
Yeah.
it's in a it's in a bank account, but
They're
I
usually pretty good. I know. Yeah, you can get a copy because you're next to kin. Um, just call up the court reporter or call up the county records and they'll be able to walk you through it. But yeah, it's supposed to be coming to you. You don't want the state to take that. So
yeah,
I'm just
yeah,
saying.
I was supposed to
We don't
do
want
that.
their grub hands.
Yeah, because it's like, and the thing that I don't like, and now this is also where feisty Meek wants to come out. The sister Feisty Meek wants to come out. The sister has the audacity because I asked her because I had to do my father's very small service over like a live video because I couldn't afford to drive down there. And then when after I gave him his rights and all that, I remember asking her specifically, could you please just get me a small urn of his ashes and just send me it? She hasn't done that. And what really agitates me is her having the audacity to ask me to use some of the money that was left to me to buy her grandmother, a headstone. And it's like, cupcake. You should have used the money that she left you for that. Now, why is it my issue? Mm.
Yeah.
Anyway,
What
80%.
check with the state? Oops, sorry. I'm just pulling up. I'm just pulling up. And each state is different. So I don't know if I give you this information that it will help at all or not. Um, I'm just pulling up something on my laptop.
And I've already also I've reached out to the clerk system, and at least as far as I know, there's no hardship to there's no means of getting it because of due to a hardship or financial constraint. Because I can't drive to Ventura County. Nope.
Yeah. Okay, I'm looking for. Okay. All right, I gotta be close. No. Probate. You need to see if you have to fill out probate paperwork for your state. Some states require it and some states don't.
Hmm.
And you want to do that before the aunt, which probably hasn't happened, but, or maybe they have. But you have like certain states you have to fill out probate paperwork. So check on that. And you should be able to do most of this online.
Yeah, because I know, well, because I'm the only son, I'm the only child, and the the aunt already has a death certificate, already has a kick the bucket certificate, but she's not first of kin. So it's kind of like,
Yeah. And you should be able to get that. That should be easy to be able to get because I know um, it's usually the county recorder's office or county records. So you should be able to call up and order it over the phone. Sometimes you can order it on the internet
mhm, hmm,
because you can do that. And I'm telling you that from experience when we've lost birth certificates and stuff. So it is actually pretty easy to do. Yeah. And then just check with the probates. And if you're struggling with it, if there's a local law school, law students have to put in pro bono hours. So they have to put in volunteer hours. That's kind of like a requirement for them to graduate. So you can always reach out and maybe a local law student would be willing to help you out because sometimes they have like a little bit more insight.
mhm,
Since they like to make things so complex, the government, red tape.
uh-huh.
Yep.
And it really also makes me kind of also
So,
think this too. It's I mean, the whole situation altogether, my cousin, she's even because she wants me to get all of it because the main idea and the main focus was to have me and her share it, but she wants me to have all of it. So she's trying to talk to the aunt to just send me the the kicking the
unalive.
buckets. Yeah. So it's like she's trying to push for it, but then the aunt is kind of like saying, "Well, if he's not gonna give me the headstone, I'm not gonna give it to him." Like, honey bear. Now I really don't want to get you with anything.
It's so sad that when like people unalive that relatives do some of the crappiest things to each other. I mean, it really is sad.
Yep. But
Very,
really,
very sad.
the big thing that makes me so agitated, it's just so not only did she trick my father with signing paperwork when he already wasn't doing too well and take his share of the money, she then has the audacity to not even take initiative for her own mother to get the headstone. And now she's putting it on me to do. Like, no. That's no. No, no, no. Anyway,
Yeah. All right, we have another question. Celeste wants to know, is there anything Hades and Persephone would like to say?
let's see here.
Hmm. Well, we got the Two of Wands in reverse. So, it's not necessarily. I don't see that they have any information for like any journeys or anything new for you at this point. Uh, I mean, the biggest thing, yeah, that's actually there. We go. Look at that.
Yep, and then this is the Nine of Wands.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
possibly it might be where you're currently in your standing with them. It's possibly saying at the moment just hold your ground with what you know and where you're standing, and not really proceed forward as of yet. So keep the
Mhm.
ground where you're at, and then just wait patiently for the next thing. Recuperate.
Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm getting. It was just there. Yeah. So just keep doing what you're doing. Yeah. All right, we're doing one card readings. If anybody else would like a reading, please feel free. You can type general or type a specific question, and we will pull cards for you, and we will stay on as long as we've got questions coming in. So, multiple decks available.
And it's also another thing to even add more like crazy twists and turns with the a whole situation involving me. Well, I'm kind of in that predicament where if I ask anybody on my other side of the family that I'm more that I've been mostly involved with all my life, immediately I already know once mostly involved with all my life. Immediately I already know once it's going to be like say for example there's going to be a lot of corrosion and a lot of guilt tripping and giving up some of that for whatever endeavor that they want. That's automatically going to happen. So it's like between a rock and a hard place.
Yeah, that's so unfortunate. Like it makes me sad when you hear things like that. You know what I mean? It's like just very, very sad.
Yep. And I mean, truth be told, in all honesty, like I, I gotta see really how much it is just to get that death certificate. I mean, the kick the bucket certificate. I meant to say that kick bucket certificate. Um, because there is a Chase bank, and that's where the account's actually at. That I can go into by myself and get it all taken care of that way, no problem. But it's like, ah,
I would hope it's not too much, but you never know. I mean, I've been surprised at the cost of things in some
yeah,
cases
because
and instances.
I think the amount of it to just get a copy and that it just be sent out in 7 to 10 days is like, um, I think it's $24. I think something like that, and I'm not sure if it has, the tax on top of it, but
I would hope they wouldn't add a tax on top, but you never know.
uh huh.
That's one thing I will not miss is taxes. Illinois taxes are
Oh
atrocious.
gosh, yeah, I could just imagine the tax percentage in Illinois. Oh good lord.
Oh, it was horrible. I mean, it absolutely horrible. Like Property tax was atrocious.
I can't even imagine California. Oh, Lord.
Yeah. And I was always like, wait, we broke away from England because we were being taxed without representation. Like, what's going on now? It's like worse. Had we stayed in English colony, it would have been better.
We don't want to have
It's kind of
a
sad,
this kind of a thing going on here.
right? Let's have a chat with our forefathers.
Yep. Oh, yeah, well, I'll take those big
All right.
squares of tea and throw them into the ocean. How about that?
Right? Let's just throw some billionaires in the ocean. No,
I mean, heck, why not? Okay, so let's see. We'll have them play this new game called Spin the Wheel, and whoever it lands on, they get to go off off the edge.
there we go.
Wheel of misfortune. Billionaire.
All right. It looks like we don't have any more questions. We can wrap it up then tonight. So, Bren, any last messages for the evening?
Well, all that I can think of is just like what the He Who Fund does. Make sure you speak loud and carry a big stick. Bonus points if anybody knows who I was referencing. If you don't know who I'm referencing, well, you need to retake your American history because you whiffed it. It was Teddy Roosevelt, by the way.
Yes, it was. All right. Well, everybody, thank you so much for joining. We will be live on Thursday with a spiritual panel. Sunday will be Witchy Book Club. And then we'll be back here again next week for the Lover's card. And then we'll do tarot readings until we don't get any more questions. All right. As always, merry meet, merry part, bright blessings, and namaste.